Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here then hi, my name is Miss Paris and on my channel you can find tips, advice and information all about teaching as well as following along with my personal journey. It has been a while, however, I am wary that today is the 1st of February, which means it is strike day, and here I am. Now I know to a lot that may seem controversial, but I do have my reasons, and obviously I am all for the strikes and I am completely in agreement with the reasoning behind it. But yeah, so just bear in mind that, you know, be respectful in the comments because I am here and I thought I would take you through what strike day looks like in school. So we're off curriculum today, which I missed a meeting when they were talking about that. So it was a mad rush last night for me to plan like 6.5 hours of content. We have a data deadline on Friday, so I brought loads of, today is Wednesday, brought loads of books home yesterday and was trying to get some data off of those. So today is going to be kind of a mixture of fun and also loads of data obtaining activities, but I just thought the more data I can get the better. And so between those tasks, like when we're doing an arty task, then I will be working with a group trying to get some data like verbally, one-on-one, formative assessment. So I have big plans for today, as well as trying to hopefully make it exciting for the kids. I need to set up because we had quite a tricky day yesterday in terms of behaviour, so there's still quite a bit of mess, but obviously I was here till, well, the latest time possible, like nearly 6, doing data little bits, planning for tomorrow. I still need to get loads of things from the printer because some of it I only finished when I got home. But yes, it's quite a relief not having to do lesson plans or anything formal today, so thankfully that helped with the process. When I'm eating some of my leftover noodles from yesterday, not a takeaway by the way, we actually made it, so wow, I'm feeling like I'm winning at life when you have leftovers. I'm going through some of the core tasks that we did today. They're not in books because it's not kind of following our medium-term plans, but it's a way for me to try and meet some objectives. Today is very much a data collecting day, as well as, you know, more fun activities than they would maybe normally do, and I really liked it. So I had a timetable and we kept the original subjects and timings as before. However, there's been flexibility. You know, I've been able to say, oh, whoops, we've overrun 10 minutes, that's fine, or reschedule things for the afternoon. And normally we can't do that, it's so strict. But yeah, so I'm going through these, hopefully there's some data points that I can collect. It's been really nice because I'm trying to promote independent tasks today, so I've been able to kind of grab children here and there and just ask them, write this on a whiteboard for me, excellent, okay, you've got it. Can you rehearse counting in 2s, 5s and 10s, or 4s and 8s for me? And it's been really nice to tick things off. It's so much quicker than actually relying on books, because what I found from books is they might be able to do it, but they can't necessarily, or they might not necessarily think about using it immediately. So in a creative piece of writing, they might know how to use inverted commas, but actually they don't necessarily use it if you ask them to go off and write a story. So it's actually been really good, and it's building my confidence a bit, because last night it was a long night and, you know, of data collection from books, and I wasn't feeling great. But yeah, I'm optimistic and looking forward to the afternoon. So this was the plan for today. So start of the day, vocabulary, that was the core task that I was talking about earlier. Computing, we did timetable rockstars, practice art multiplication. And then here I said my TA to do some reading and me to do DC Pro data. Here for spellings, we have just started the read, write, ink spelling scheme. So for Wednesday, it's dictation and 4 in a row, which I'm amazed by how good they are at dictation. And then for the children not accessing this, I looked on DC Pro to see what objectives they needed to cover, and I had worksheets ready for them. Then story time, spelling test. This was to meet this objective about homophones. So we went through this because we've never directly taught that. So if they're good at spellings, then they might already have that, so I could just tick that off. It's also a good idea for me to see, you know, what they need support with, because they're you know, we use a lot. Maths, this is a DC Pro objective that I've actually just marked because it's after school now, and they found this quite tricky. So it's use inverse operations to check answers to a calculation. And what I found is those that are really confident with addition and subtraction, they would just add and subtract it to see what the correct answer is. Whereas some people know how to make the inverse operation, but then they might not be confident with the addition and subtraction. And some children just don't know, they're just not confident with it. So that was quite interesting actually, lots of different results there. 11:30 to 12, it was meant to be art, but things overran. So we didn't end up doing that. But then we've done lots of readers today, which is brilliant, one-to-one reading, so we could look at reading targets as well. 12:05 to 12:30 lunch, 12:30 to 12:55 play. Then we did whole class reading as normal. We're reading the Iron Man, and they love it. And we're just on the chapter about the mysterious dragon, so they are all for that. Then because we didn't quite get time to do some things in the morning, I moved that over to the afternoon, and then we still did some reading. So we focused on the DC Pro objectives of orally retell stories they have read or heard so far. So I was thinking Fantastic Mr. Fox, which was Autumn 1 and Autumn 2 book, or the Iron Man, and identify and summarize the main ideas from a section of text. And these are so much easier to kind of decide one-to-one and to explain it. And then also we wrote it in the reading folder. And this afternoon we did some like sketching around hands and designing some hands, because one of the new members of SLT want to do a nice kind of display board in the corridor with all the hands to kind of symbolize unity and things like that. And then I was going to do kind of little singing, practice some of the songs from singing assembly and a bucket filler, but we ran out of time because yeah, just juggling lots of different things, and they got really into their hand making. So yeah, that was the day. I've gone through so many bits of data. I wish I could filter it by date, but I still feel that same thing that I was kind of at lunchtime. I feel so much better because there's so many things that actually were marked as not achieved, and just one-on-one, when I was like, okay, here's, you know, a number sentence, can you calculate it for me with the column addition? And they did it, and I was like, oh gosh, amazing. Because sometimes when we give those sheets, and I'll show some sheets, they were made by a member of SLT, so not to be credited to me at all, but they're really, really good. But sometimes, you know, when we give it in the morning, if they're late or they've just come in, they're not completed, and I keep getting sheets with like one number filled in, and it doesn't help me with any data collection points at all. So yeah, I will show you those, but it's been a really good day, and I'm actually really glad I didn't go on strike. Yes, I've still got 2 lessons to plan for tomorrow. I've still got reports to do, which I need to ask about because they're not working for me. It's on Publisher. But yeah, feeling really, really good. So these are the type of sheets we have. So the Walt would be a DC Pro objective, just a few that they can, you know, go through and then answer, and then we would see what they got right, and then we'll fill in DC Pro accordingly. And there's another one. And I really like that they've actually shown their method. Nice. So I've just been looking for data within our reading comprehension books, and you know, very often when it's like predict or summarize, they're really good at it, except with summarizing they'll often kind of be too lengthy, or maybe they'll turn it into a story. And with things like prediction, they won't use the text, they'll just make up some wild imagination thing, which, you know, is fine to be imaginative, but you need to use evidence from the text in year 3. And we've been looking at inferring thoughts and feelings from a character based on their actions or speech. And normally they're okay at it. You know, they're better at verbalizing it than writing it down, and I'm really encouraging them to try and use evidence. And actually today, I've just read an amazing one, and I'm so proud. I'm like so hyped. I straight away had to stop, and I wrote a positive postcard. One of the things we do is like our reward system, and I just thought I'd read it to you because I'm actually really proud of it. It's obviously about the Iron Man, so I gave them a section of text. I said, read the text and answer the question below in your books. And the question was, what do you think the Iron Man was thinking when he stepped off of the cliff? Use the text to explain your answer. And she wrote, Iron Man may have been thinking he could fly. I think this because in the text it says a strong wind pressed against his back, which made him think that the wind could carry him. So that's probably why he stepped off the cliff. Like, oh my gosh. You know those little moments where it's like, you've got it in somebody's head. So I'm mega excited. That just made me very, 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 very happy. I'm trying to go through these books, but I actually have to plan a reading comprehension lesson for tomorrow and Friday. It's 5:15 and I still haven't done that. So I've just sent an email to my colleague because she's on strike, which is fine, so she may or may not answer, about whether we should still do an input or just give them the opportunity to practice those reading skills independently so we can mark them and get evidence up. Friday might be a bit too tight to the deadline. But Thursday, I'm thinking, I don't know, we could do some vocabulary exercises. We could do some more inferring or inference, some more summarising. Yes, I'm not sure. I still have to debate that. I've also just printed off some things from Twinkle because one of my pupils, due to actions from yesterday, is in an internal exclusion. So I printed off some phonics things for him, some handwriting, some math. So yeah, I've got those 2 lessons to do. And I think at some point I'm going to call it a day because I've got all of these sheets to upload to DC Pro, and these books are really just quite heavy, but I don't know. So my list, my little to-do list, achievement list, you know what I mean, is 2 reports for children that are actually sadly leaving us on Friday, so I need to prioritise those. The newly marked maths, which is what I've just shown you, put onto DC Pro. The English set that are not currently working on the Year 3 curriculum, get some of that onto DC Pro. Any English DC Pro objectives that could be ticked on from the cold task today. English independent rights, which was done when I wasn't here. And then check summarising from reading last week for DC Pro, which I'm currently doing now. And then reading comp for Thursday and Friday. So I'm still really glad with how productive today was, but yeah, there's a lot to do, which is just the norm. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment any of your thoughts down below, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Now I have to leave. Bye!